CDC failed that responsibility miserably during COVID, when its disastrous and nonsensical policies destroyed small businesses, violated civil liberties, closed our schools, caused generational damage in doing so, massed infants with no science, and heightened economic inequality. And yet all those oppressive and unscientific interventions failed to do anything about the disease itself. America is home to 4.2% of the world's population, yet we had nearly 20% of the COVID deaths. We literally did worse than any country in the world. And the people at CDC who oversaw that process, who put masks on our children, who closed our schools, are the people who will be leaving.
Do you accept the fact that 1 million Americans died from COVID?
I don't know how many died.
You're the Secretary of Health and Human Services. You don't have any idea how many Americans died from COVID?
I don't think anybody knows that because there was so much data chaos coming out of the CDC, and there were so many perverse incentives. And these are model studies.
You don't know the answer of how many Americans died from COVID. This is the Secretary of Health and Human Services. Do you think the vaccine did anything to prevent additional deaths?
Again, I would like to see the data and talk about the data.
You have had this job for 8 months, and you don't know the data about whether the vaccine saved lives?
And that's the problem, is that they didn't have the data. The data by the Biden administration absolutely dismal.
So who is politicizing? You're saying the Biden administration politicized all the data? Go back to what Senator Cantwell just said.
They fired Dr.
Go to the Trump Surgeon General.
They fired Dr. Krauss. They fired all the people who questioned the orthodoxy. They fired Dr. Gruber, Dr. Krauss.
So, Mr. Chairman, the Secretary of Health and Human Services doesn't know how many Americans died from COVID. Doesn't know if the vaccine helped prevent any deaths. And you are sitting as Secretary of Health and Human Services? How can you be that ignorant?
Chairman Wyden was talking about me politicizing ACIP. During COVID, probably the most famous scientist on ACIP was Martin Kulldorff from Harvard, the great world-renowned epidemiologist and vaccinologist. And he criticized the COVID booster mandates. They ejected him from COVID because he wasn't in the orthodoxy. The two biggest health officials at FDA during COVID, Dr. Gruber and Dr. Krauss, criticized the Biden mandates, vaccine mandates. You know, President Biden said in August, I would never take that vaccine, the Trump vaccine. And he came in, he mandated it, and then he fired the two top health officials at FDA who said, hey, this thing has not been properly tested. So the whole process was politicized, and even today.
So let me, in 15 seconds, so I think you answered yes. It was.
Yes.
What's up, everyone? It's Talk Skinny here today. I got a great video for you guys today. This is JFK going after everybody. Everybody can get it. And you saw from the intro, they try to make this argument that somehow RFK is the one politicizing science. But during COVID, we all knew that the science, right, quote unquote, the science was politicized science. It was an orthodoxy. And this is one thing that is the funny part about leftists. They claim that they're about, oh, we trust the science. We trust the science. But science, very premise, is meant to be questioned. And the fact that you fired people that questioned the initial data, the initial guidance given by the Biden administration, you have people threatening to take doctors who oppose some of the suggestions and guidance given by the CDC, threatening to make them lose their license. Y'all remember that? Y'all don't remember those days? And those were one of the most, like, when I think back to 2020, 2021, those were the days where I was like, these people are abusing their position to push orthodoxy on us. They treated their science, this politicized science, as a religion. And if you question it, you declared heresy. You're declared blasphemous for doing so. They treated these doctors, these experts, like priests and bishops. You couldn't question them. Look how they was worshiping, damn near pseudo-worshiping Fauci like he was the Pope. Y'all remember those? You remember those pieces, how they fawned over Fauci? And then data memos came out suggesting that, yeah, we made it all up because we didn't want to have public hysteria. We had no data to back up our claims. And is this who we're supposed to trust? And RFK is pointing out that there was so much chaos with the data. If you had COVID, but you died of a car accident, they attributed it to COVID. You died of a heart attack, but you had COVID, they attributed it to COVID. Make it make sense. If you look at the deaths, if you filter the data, and you look at the deaths where COVID was the only factor there, it was minimal. A lot of the deaths with COVID was a combination effect. This was the insanity that was going on with the data chaos that he was talking about. And I want to report this. There's a $2 million effort to get RFK ousted happening right in front of us. A leaked memo exposed the whole plan. Now it's happening and farmers holding nothing back. CDC bureaucrats are subverting Kennedy. Senators are demanding his resignation. The vaccine industry is lobbying to get him fired, and it's all about to reach a fever pitch. And I feel that. As you guys know, I live in the great state of Florida, and recently, Florida's, I believe, health general or something, he banned vaccine mandates. And this is causing a whole outrage on the left.
They're not outlawed. That's good. The parents are going to decide. Two, there's a cause and effect, and the CDC lied to us about COVID, and they lied a lot.
Not true.
They lied about masks in schools.
Not true.
They lied about distancing.
Not
they
true.
lied about the efficiency or the effectiveness of the COVID-19 vaccine.
Not true.
It is true. They
Not
said
true.
that distancing.
The
Hold on, wait.
CDC
Did they
not
not lie
The
about the
CDC
effectiveness
did
of a
not
mask
lie.
when the internal
Yes,
document
if you
said
talk about
that the
certain
mask
types
did not
of
work in the
masks,
schools?
if we're looking at
And
high
the
quality
plexiglass
masks, if we're
didn't
looking
work.
at high quality masks, right? So
That's not what they said.
P95 masks,
I would love it if they would've
those
said that.
masks
They
actually
didn't say
prevent
that.
infections. Because
They
look,
didn't
this is
say
the way
that.
science works.
Hold on,
Science works
wait,
that
let
as
me
you get
finish and
data,
answer the question
the
she
type
was
of
asking.
communication that you
I-
give
I-
improves.
this is
But
why
you can't say the
American- this is
CDC
why
lied.
Florida's
The
doing
reason
right now.
you can't
Hold
say
on,
the
I think
CDC
I
lied.
actually think it's important.
It's very
for her-
important.
what they just
If you're
did.
saying
No,
things that are
they're doing that
not
because of malpractice, for
accurate,
political
I do think it's
bullshit.
fair for her
True or
to
false?
counter
the
that.
CDC said that masking was effective and worked when they knew internal documents said.
It
and
does
the emails came
work.
out that it didn't work.
Okay, well, what
True or
she
false?
does.
Okay, well,
6 foot distancing.
hold on a
True or
second.
false? The CDC say
Hold
that
on a
6
second.
Misinformation,
foot
folks.
worked, and it
You're
didn't.
seeing it in action.
First of all,
They said it was going to stop the spread in
Misinformation.
two.
Ben, are you
You're
gonna
seeing
are you
it
gonna
in
are you gonna have a
action.
conversation, or are you just gonna keep talking? Look, hold on, okay. First of all, what she is disputing is your language around this, which is that they lied.
Yes,
which is,
exactly.
Which she's saying, and I think she's right about this, is not true. There are certain types of masks that work better than others.
We've been
Abby,
using masks
and
for
B,
decades.
the whole point of
emails-
science. I mean, and this is.
Abby,
I think
this
that,
is
let
why
me just,
Florida did this. And
let
this
me
is
just
what you
bring,
guys don't understand.
Hold on.
No, Florida
There's a
did it
cause and
because of
effect. The
political
American people don't trust the
one-upsmanship.
Hold on a
That's why
second.
Florida did
for the
it.
reasons I said. You may not like that. You may not
Because
like the
of
American people
political
believe
Americans
that.
don't trust the
figures
CDC
They do not.
because people
Representing
like
data.
RFK.Jr. and
Thank
others.
you.
and
That's why
actually, this
RFK
guy,
Jr. got the job he's got
this
now
guy-
because
He
so many
got the
people
job
didn't
because of
trust the
Hold on a
reckless
second. Okay, Ben, just give me
leadership.
1 second, okay? This Florida Surgeon General has been railing against vaccines for a while, but he's also responsible for a lot of misinformation. He's altered key findings in a COVID-19 vaccine safety study.
Malpractice.
He pushed things like cures like ivermectin and others for
Wait, hold on.
COVID.
Did
Reckless.
ivermectin not work?
No.
You have data that shows that it did work.
No.
He is pushing
We have
all of those
conclusive
other
data that it does not work effectively.
That is
Okay, Ben, are you really going to argue with the doctor?
Thank
at the table
you.
about this?
This is
With a
I go-
doctor
hold on,
who
this
is
is-
helping to save
when we all
lives
listen
in
to
a safety
doctors
net
during COVID,
institution,
you guys
when-
screwed us
when-
and we
when we-
failed
when
miserably.
we
You lied about a
listen-
vaccine.
Let me move on
When we
because
listen to-
hold on 1 second. I just want to move on because I want to
Okay.
let other people join.
I always find it funny when people have to rely on their titles to make an argument, to make a case. And hell yeah, I'll argue with a doctor. That'll be me right there. I'll be right there with them. I don't trust nothing y'all say. Y'all got a profit motive. This lady is a perfect example of fallacy of authority. Because she's a doctor, all of a sudden we're supposed to take her words as gospel. Hell no, I never operate like that. I'm always skeptical. Because at the end of the day, as a doctor, you should have a better way of explaining and articulating your points. The guy made a good argument. Hey, look at all the suggestions you gave us. After the fact, you try to downplay the effects of natural immunity. You said that, hey, people said, hey, I got in COVID. I survived COVID. I have natural immunity. I don't need the vaccines. You guys went back over historical evidence, historical understanding of natural immunity. And you said, no, natural immunity is not a thing. Natural immunity is weaker than if you got in the vaccine, which spits in the face of everything we knew from a historical standpoint when it comes to natural immunity. And then data came out that people who got in COVID, didn't get the vaccine, had a stronger resistance to COVID than people who got boosters and all that stuff. People who got boosters kept getting COVID over and over again, more frequently than the people who were anti-vax, right? I remember the whole hysteria. Democrats were out here saying that, this is reckless. You're trying to kill people by saying they don't need to take the CDC guidelines about COVID and all this ish. Remember, they was calling Florida Death Santis. They were calling Ron DeSantis Death Santis because they thought what he was doing was reckless. But what the data showed, the complete opposite. And you don't think people are going to come away and be like, be skeptical of what you have to say? Dems and much of the GOP have still not accepted that the health policy establishment obliterated the public trust through lies, cover-ups, moronic decrees, censorship, harmful shutdowns during COVID. RFK campaign was to uproot and replace them, not to empower them. And this is the part I think that doctor on CNN was feeling. No one cared that you were a doctor. No one give a damn. We want to know, okay, what evidence are you pointing to? What data are you pointing to? We don't care about your position. Your position is only supposed to inform us that you should be in a better position to tell us what we should be looking out for. But you're saying misinformation, gaslight. No, you're using your position of authority for political ends. And this is the orthodoxy that RFK was mentioning in the intro of this video. How anyone who came out and questioned the orthodoxies, you got fired, you was going to lose your license, you got threatened. People try to say you're trying to kill people. They gaslight you to oblivion. And she tried to do the same tactics there, but it ain't working no more. Americans ain't going for it no more. And RFK is doing exactly what people expected him to do.
The record that they're going to rely on to make these decisions, will you make it transparent for the American people?
All the evidence is transparent.
Will
all
you
the
make
evidence-
it in advance transparent for the American people so they can comment on it?
All the evidence is transparent for the first time in history, and you were never there complaining when the pharmaceutical companies were picking those people and then running their products through with no safety testing.
You can characterize it any way you want. I quoted them today. What I said was accurate. What you said were lies. You
Are you
described
saying,
people
Senator,
moving the Titanic.
Senator, are you saying that a mRNA vaccine has never been associated with myocarditis or pericarditis in teenagers?
I am simply.
Is that what you're trying to tell us?
I am simply trying to say that the people that you have put on that panel, after firing the entire.
You're evading the question.
No, I'm asking the questions here,
You're
Mr.
evading
Kennedy.
that question.
I'm asking the questions,
I
Mr.
asked you a
Kennedy.
question.
I'm asking the questions for Mr. Kennedy on behalf of parents and schools and teachers all over the United States of America who deserve so much better than your leadership. That's what this conversation is about, Mr. Chairman.
Senator, they deserve the truth, and that's what we're going to give them for the first time in the history of that agency.
I don't know why this issue always get me so animated. I guess because I have my children of my own. But Democrats, y'all better learn. Parents don't play with their kids. Hey, we don't play about our kids, okay? If there's a possibility that something that you're administrating can cause some negative side effects to our kids, can damage the bodies, the immune system of our children, you don't think we want to make sure that that vaccine is spotless? Like we know damn near to the molecular level, I don't know how to say it, to the atoms of the damn vaccine to make sure that it's safe to our children. Because at the end of the day, if the kid gets some symptoms and it happens to correlate at the time he got the shot, you don't know how bad a parent will feel that, damn, I allowed this to happen to my child. And you think you know what this reminds me of? And then we'll get into the video. This reminds me of when Democrats in West Virginia, I believe, was running on parents should have no business in education. This is what it feels like. Oh, just shut up and listen to what the doctor's telling you. Are you really arguing with the doctor? Yes. Because at the end of the day, it's the doctor's job to convince me. Not using, oh, I'm a doctor. You shouldn't. No, I don't care. Hey, look at these things. I don't need to be a doctor to see outcomes. You don't need to be a specialist or an expert to see outcomes. Hey, this happened. I'm concerned about this. It's your job to put it in perspective for me. And you can't. All you got to do is all you can do is gaslight me, use your position of authority, which is a fallacy, a logical fallacy. Just because you're a doctor doesn't mean you're right on everything medical. Ridiculous. And you wonder why these experts are no longer trusted. They wonder why their credibility and public trust is on the way down. And RFK is the very person. He's the very man for the job. He's the man we need in that position. And he is. When the Democrats try to play this game of moralizing, saying, "Oh, the American people deserve so much better than you," no, we got exactly what we need. Someone to question the institution we lost trust in. He's our advocate. There's a reason why the Maha movement was something. What did Democrats represent? Nothing.
Mr. Kennedy, you said, quote, "If vaccines are working for somebody, I'm not going to take them away." No exceptions, no ifs, ands, or buts. You would not take away vaccines from anyone who wanted them. Then last week, you announced that the COVID-19 vaccine is no longer approved for healthy people under the age of 65. In announcing the change, you said the vaccine will be available for anyone who wants it. Now, obviously, both things cannot be true at the same moment. So let's clear this up right now, Secretary Kennedy. Will you tell America that all adults and all children over 6 months of age are eligible to get a COVID booster at their local pharmacy today?
Anybody can get the booster.
I'm sorry?
Anybody can get it, Senator.
Anybody. So you're saying that is now the official rule of HHS. Anybody is eligible to get a booster by just walking into the pharmacy.
It's not recommended for healthy people.
No.
Yeah, and that's what I was thinking at first. I'm like, yo, is this a recommendation? Did he say, hey, I won't recommend it, but you can do it if you want? Like saying, hey, I don't recommend you smoking, but you can do it if you want? That's how I took it. I took it like a recommendation. Maybe he took it off a vaccine schedule or something. And this is what I'm talking about. They want to pressure, oh, no, it's recommended for you to do this, because they use it as some type of soft power to nudge you into doing something that they want you to do. But I digress.
If you don't recommend, then the consequence of that in many states is that you can't walk into a pharmacy and get one. It means insurance companies don't have to cover the $200 or so cost. As Senator Dr. Cassidy said, you are effectively denying people vaccines.
We're not going to recommend a product for which there's no clinical data for that indication. Is that what I should be doing?
What you should be doing is honoring your promise that you made when you were looking to get confirmed in this job.
You're going like this.
And that is, you promised that you would not take away vaccines from anyone who wanted them.
Maybe I didn't listen correctly, but did it sound like he took it away from you? No, he just said I wouldn't recommend it because of there's not to my standards, it's not adequate enough evidence for me to feel comfortable recommending it to someone under the age of 65. That's pretty much what he said. But now, if you interpret it a different way, that sounds like a you problem, and you're trying to make it an America problem. And this is my problem with the Democratic Party and people of their ilk. You say something, instead of getting mad at what you literally said, they get mad at what they're imagining you mean what you said. Like, make it make sense. You're explaining to him what he meant. This doctor who happens to be a Democrat is telling me that you're effectively saying that no one should get this vaccine under the age of 65. Recommend and saying you're not allowed to get something are two different things. Maybe she needs to look at a dictionary. Maybe English is not Pocahontas' first language. Maybe she misunderstood what he was saying. If you look at the definition of recommendation, it means not to suggest, right? Essentially, not to do. But these people always want people of authority. They always want people of experts to co-sign what they want, co-sign their rhetoric. This is why they love experts so much, or at least love to wear the title of expert.
You just changed the classification of the COVID vaccine.
I'm not taking them away from people, Senator.
It takes it away if you can't get it from your pharmacist.
Well, most Americans are going to be able to get it from their pharmacy for free. Most Americans will be able to get it from their pharmacy for free.
The question is everyone who wants it. That was your promise,
No, I
Mr.
didn't.
Kennedy,
I never
mine.
promised that I was going to
You
recommend
didn't promise-
products with which
I'm
there is no
sorry.
indication.
When you said,
And I know you've
vaccines
taken
are working for
$855,000 from
someone,
pharmaceutical
I'm not going to take them
companies,
away.
Senator.
Did you hold up a big sign saying that you were lying when you said that? Because you are the one who said you would not take them away. Now, Senator Kennedy.
I'm not taking them away from anybody.
Secretary, you
want
Yeah. I think English is not her first language, guys. Let's give her the benefit of the doubt. Pocahontas' first language is not English. This lady is literally trying to, like, this is what I'm talking about the stories that Democrats love to tell themselves. This is imagination. She's imagining that RFK secretly, when he said, I don't recommend it, in her head, no. RFK, you actually meant that you don't want people doing this. That's what you're saying. No, he's not. He's saying he wouldn't recommend it. Plain as day, clear English. Everyone, even my 5-year-old kid, my 5-year-old son can understand what he's saying. I wouldn't recommend that, son. That's all he's saying. You said he wouldn't take away. This is the theater that I'm talking about. This is why I nothing is appealing to me about the Democratic Party.
me to indicate a product for which there is no clinical data?
Senator,
Is that what you want?
Secretary Kennedy, you said you wouldn't, and now you did.
I'm not
So
taking them away.
obviously-
Everybody can get access to them.
No, they can't walk into a pharmacy the way they could last month and get access
It
to a
depends on the
vaccine.
it depends on the
It
states.
depends. A year ago,
But they can
it did
still
not
get it.
depend.
Everybody
A
can get
month
it.
ago, it did not
Everybody can
depend.
get it, Senator.
Making a mountain out of a molehill, like ridiculous. Just to open their mouth and talk. That's all she wanted to do. She just wanted to talk. That's all she wanted to do. She just wanted to talk. This is ridiculous. These are some like, it's hard to take these people seriously, man. It's hard. It's hard. Like imagine that. They would cry, oh, we want transparency. We want this. We want that. Where was the transparency when Fauci had to admit that they made up the guidance for the 6 feet apart because they just wanted to sound like they knew what was going on, so that way people don't get freaked out and scared over the whole COVID stuff. You wasn't demanding transparency then. Oh, we just made it up. We just took an arbitrary number and we just said 6 feet, and now it became 6 feet. Oh, you get the vaccine, you're immune from COVID. And people were like, that don't make sense. Vaccines don't bring immunity. That don't make sense. Yes, it does. This one does. And now people are sick of your ish. And now y'all crying. Now y'all mad. Oh, RFK should be empowering us. Why should he empower somebody that have a proven track record of failing the American people to the point that the American people lost trust in them and wanted him to be in that position from the inside to hold it accountable for the lack of trust that the American people have? Because I don't care how much of an expert you are. I don't care how smart or how knowledgeable you are as a doctor. If the brand of doctor has a negative connotation on it, you won't be able to influence nobody. Learn from the journalists, doctors, experts. This is a warning to all the experts out there. Look at what's going on with journalists. It don't matter what a journalist say. People are going to be like, let me verify that. It's the same thing that's going on with doctors. Let me verify that. Let me hear a second opinion. Let me find a doctor that's anti what you're pushing, and I'll make up my decisions from there. That's what a lot of people are doing nowadays. That's why a lot of people are hesitant with the vaccine stuff nowadays. And then you want to get mad that red state Florida was like, nah, let's ban vaccine mandates. I think it's unconstitutional to force parents to give a product. Like, make it make sense. The government's mandating you to take a product. That sound very draconian, don't it? That's like the government telling you, no, you can only buy this kind of car. But I digress. Let me know your thoughts and perspective in the comment section below. Do you agree with the sentiments that I'm kind of advocating and framing here, that the American people has lost public trust in these institutions because time and time again they've been proven wrong? Their guidance has been seen as misguidance. They give us bad outcomes, and then there was no accountability about it. Do you believe it's justified for many people such as myself to have such a higher level of criticism and scrutiny of doctors and so-called medical experts? Let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comment section below. I'll be interested to hear what you guys have to say. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Please share this video if you feel so inclined. It really does help me on the algorithm. And I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.